So, you ever wonder how some videos about super complex topics like AI just go viral? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a fascinating formula, a kind of secret recipe for turning what could be a really dry experiment into something absolutely riveting. But first, let's start with the big question. How in the world do you make a technical failure, a simple error, into something people actually want to watch? How do you make a mistake compelling? That's the exact problem this whole formula is built to solve. I mean, let's be real for a second. When you're trying to explain something technical, it is so easy to lose your audience. Our attention spans are just not what they used to be, and honestly, most of this kind of content ends up being, well, kind of boring. But what if there was a secret recipe, a tested blueprint that could consistently take a dry AI experiment and spin it into a captivating story? Something that keeps you hooked from the very first second right to the very end. Okay, so let's dive right in. We're going to deconstruct this exact blueprint, this 9-step formula that acts as the engine for some of the most engaging AI explainers you've probably ever seen. When you boil it all down, the formula really has 4 key stages. First, you've got the hook. You have to grab them right away. Then you run an experiment, building up the tension piece by piece. After that comes the twist, a totally unexpected, weird failure. And finally, the big payoff. You explain why it all happened. And holding this all together are some really important stylistic rules, like no fluff. None of that, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You jump right in with a question that sparks curiosity. The language is simple, it's conversational, and every 20 to 30 seconds, you drop in a new question to keep people guessing. It's all about that forward momentum. So how does this formula actually build that tension? Well, the heart of it all is a 3-part experiment that's specifically designed to create this rising feeling of suspense. It all starts with a simple task, something you'd totally expect an AI to nail, like writing a basic email. And it does. It works perfectly. This sets a baseline, right? It builds your trust and makes you think, okay, this thing knows what it's doing. Next, you make the task a little more complex. Now, the AI still gets it done for the most part, but you start to see these tiny little cracks. The logic might be a bit off, or the tone is just strange. It's subtle, but it's enough to plant a seed of doubt. You start thinking, wait a second, something isn't quite right here. And this is where it gets really interesting. The third task is complex, maybe even a little ambiguous, like trying to plan a realistic budget. And this is where the AI's output goes from just slightly off to genuinely weird and totally impractical. It sets the stage perfectly for the big reveal. And that brings us to the climax of the story. This is the moment the whole video pivots. It stops being just a simple test and turns into a truly memorable revelation about how artificial intelligence actually works. The key here is what the source material calls the weird failure. See, the AI doesn't just get the answer wrong. It gets it wrong with this amazing, unshakable confidence. It spits out something totally bizarre, completely impractical, but delivers it like it's the most logical thing in the world. And right when you, the viewer, are thinking, wow, that AI is seriously broken, the storyteller hits you with a crucial piece of information. That strange, nonsensical failure, it wasn't random at all. There is a hidden logic to all the madness. The video reveals that these failures aren't just random bugs. They actually follow a predictable pattern, and that pattern is directly linked to the fundamental way the AI model was designed to think. So now we get to the intellectual payoff. After building all that suspense and confusion, the final part of the video delivers that aha moment by explaining the science behind why the AI acted so strangely. And this right here illustrates the core difference perfectly. We humans, we operate on real-world logic. We get context. An AI, though, is a master of pattern matching. It's not trying to figure out what's right. It's just predicting the next word that sounds right based on all the data it's been trained on. This phenomenon actually has a name. It's called an AI hallucination. It's when the model generates these super confident, plausible-sounding answers that are just completely disconnected from reality. That weird failure we just saw, that's a perfect example of a hallucination in action. And the formula always lands on this really powerful, thought-provoking idea. The AI's strange behavior wasn't some random glitch in the system. It was the system working exactly as it was intended to, and in doing so, it revealed a fundamental truth about how this technology actually thinks. It leaves you not just entertained, but with a much, much deeper understanding of the machine.